It's this bit here, and it's a bit eerie. Right, fuck it, let's go for it. Ah, there you go. It should only be about 30 seconds. I've got to get that sorted out, for fuck's sake. StreamYard. Well, I mean, what are we paying you for? I couldn't hear anything. I don't know what was going on. But anyway, good evening. Welcome to Raconteurs News. It's been quite a long time since we've seen each other, but welcome. It is very nice to be back, and to be able to just to do this, because honestly, it's been a proper nightmare with my hands. I've really not been able to do anything. I've not been able to write. I've not been able to do anything. Skinning up has been a nightmare, but it saved me a lot on weed. So anyway, but good evening to you. I hope you're okay. I hope you're as okay as I hope I'm going to be feeling. I'm feeling great at the moment. I've got, my hands are sort. I've got morphine in my system. So just you're probably just going to have to just to deal with that. Anyway, first things first. First, I wanted to say, just to answer a couple of comments that went on the last video. Well, one comment actually, talking about Ian Crane, and asking why nobody did a tribute to Ian Crane. Well, all I'm going to say about that is that I interviewed Ian Crane. I've seen him. I've spoke to him. I've interviewed him on this show, and there was just something about him that I couldn't get on with. Okay, something that just made me a little bit. My spidey senses were tingling. So nothing solid or out like that. Apart from when he said that there were going to be an alien invasion on the Olympics in 2012, he seemed to just jump from one thing to another. And then, of course, when he hooked up with Mark Steele, and we all know if you're watching this show, we should know what Mark Steele is. So he started hanging about with him, and that sort of sealed it for me. So that's my response to that. But let's get away from this. We're in this lockdown world. What are we doing? What are we doing? We're sat at home. Let's sit at home. All right then. Anyway, look, I've not been, because of my hands, and I don't know how I'm going to feel at certain times. I've not been booking guests, but I have managed to book a guest tonight. He's more part of furniture than a guest. So good evening to you, Paul Webster. How you doing, mate? How are you?
All good, pal. All good. Glad to hear you're on the mend, son.
I am. I mean, I've not been really taking much notice of what's been going on in the mainstream media, in the last few weeks. But from what I can ascertain, it seems to be getting crazier and crazier.
It's insanity, mate. It's absolute insanity when you see. I'm talking with people. I mean, you've asked me to come on tonight because not just because everybody's locked down, we want to know what's going on still. The factor is there's people that are crying out because of the mental health that has deteriorated due to these lockdowns. It's not just people aren't the ones who are just, it's not the ones who are just furloughed and locked up. It's the ones who are going to work or having to come home to partners who are furloughed, who can't work. And then they're stuck in the house and they come home from work all tired, whereas at some time they might get a bit of time to themselves before the partner comes home. And it's just not working for people at the moment. And you see people now crying out that this is happening to me, that's happening to me. You see the mental health deteriorating. People I've known who are strong people. It's devastating. What? And having been, sorry for interrupting, having been down that road myself, it's a hard road to come back if you haven't got people. And I've seen so many people who I personally know who've decided to take the harder way out. I would say people say it's cowards. I've been low, Jason, but I've never ever thought of taking my own life. And I've been low. How low you must be to actually do it, I've no idea. But I do know people who've done it.
Yeah, well, we don't want to explore how low you need to be because there might be people that are that low, and we certainly don't want them to carry that out. But what you say is a valid point. That the mental health, that is the proper real virus, isn't it? The mental health of people, and it's not just. It's everybody. I mean, everybody's involved. If you've got a parent or parents in a care home or relatives or anything like that, and you can't visit them, the mental health, you don't know what's going on in there, inside the care home when you're not there.
Exactly. Exactly. Sorry, mate. I saw a post of a friend, and the friend had posted that she posted the year's anniversary since it was the last time that her and her sister had actually seen a mother. It was a year's anniversary, and she said the care home won't even let them look through the window at her anymore. This is about control. This is about public mental health. They've studied this for a long time, Jason. We've had a lot of conversations about Tavistock Institute and what they're capable of. I've had a few conversations today where, it's being touted that people's workplaces want up to 75% signing up to take a useless test, a test that isn't fit for purpose. Carrie Mullis, who developed the PCR test, said it's a great test, but you'll test anything positive if you do enough cycles on it. So if you've got him saying that, and then you've got him saying, plus, it doesn't test for infection. So please, he was begging, don't use my test to shoot up infection rates. I mean, in the state of Washington, a full year, not one incident of flu, mate. There's not been one bout of flu in Washington state. And that is, I think it might be Washington state. So I mean, I don't know if Bueller might come on with something like that. He might be able to fill us in with something. But when you
please no.
You've got influenza. Our own government's saying flu's gone. Just poof, gone.
So, I saw I told on last show. I was sat in the hospital waiting to have a blood test because I had to have they had to give me a blood test and it had to be done within half an hour. So that's why they couldn't come out to me. So I had to go out to them. And the TV were on, and there were people sat in the waiting room, and the guy on the television was saying there's only 5% of the usual flu cases this year. 5%. 95% is gone, flu. I mean, it don't take much working out, does it?
I believe there was, for 2020, around 14,000 influenza deaths, when it's on average over 40,000. So 26,000 influenza deaths disappeared somewhere last year. And, you know, we may not have been as switched on about it had that family not had the husband, brother, son be put on the death certificate as died of COVID-19 when he was killed in a car crash. But he had tested positive. Ridiculousness of it. So if you've got, I mean, we're talking about mental health, and the part of it being mentally well is a balanced mind that can actually, you know, balance things, common sense. Let's have a look at things like that. Where is it, Jace? Where is the common sense? Because you take things like Bill Gates, who is openly funding the World Health Organization. China gives them 30 million also. World Health Organization tells us to put useless masks on, do all this stuff. Bill Gates's firm Pirbright owns the SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus patent 2015. Anthony Fauci funnels 3.7 million to the two Wuhan labs in China in 2015 for coronavirus research. And then Bill Gates is leaning on a pile of books, smiling at you, and one of the books says, How to Lie with Statistics. I don't know how you get people to ask questions if those few dots should ring alarm bells.
Yeah, of course they should, yeah. Of course they should, but yeah, I mean, looking back, if you look back over the year, it's been quite an incremental slide. We've been sliding down and down and down the hill of us freedoms being lost, based on nothing at all. And then we all knew, everybody who watches this show, anybody who watches any show similar to this will know that we were talking right at the very beginning about you're going to have to be vaccinated. We knew what were coming, but the actual attack on people's mental health, I think, is a crime against humanity. It's a crime against human beings who are just frightened to death of something they can't see, another thing that they can't see.
Mental health. Again, it's mental health. You've got to be, how many posters have you gone past that says, act like you've got it, act like you're ill, take this test, oh, you've got a positive, does that mean I'm ill? Well, no, it doesn't. It's a false positive test, but we'll put it down as a positive anyway. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all, mate. There's too much silliness. That is absolute silliness. I mean, it's like we walked into a Monty Python sketch.
Well, it's worse than a Monty Python sketch. At least the Monty Python sketch will make you laugh. It'll do good for your mental health. And really, listen, if you're suffering, right, if you've got something, YouTube or whatever, put your favourite comedy on. Forget about it for a bit. You know, get yourself a couple of hours of something that's not fucking COVID related or to do with this fucking impending death that we've got coming into us. I mean, what we've got now. We used to have fucking Michael Parkinson offering these fucking funeral plans, and if you got a funeral plan, you get a pen. They'd send you a pen. Remember that? Michael Parkinson will send you a pen. Now it's 115 quid at Argos or wherever. You know, they're all fighting against each other. All these different, because they know funerals and that's where because people are going to be so fucking scared of this virus that they're going to be getting these fucking funeral plans, which you know for a fact they're going to get out of at some point. That some cases. Go on. Sorry.
If you put something like a PIC TV on of a dinner time, you'll get your COVID adverts, you'll get your NHS adverts, but then you'll get your cheap funeral, 1,200 quid all in, all done. Who wants a fancy funeral? Yes, I don't want a fancy funeral. I'd rather leave that money to you and the grandchildren. Just shove me in a, 1,200 quid. And then it's funeral plans. It's all different kinds of things that are about death. Everything is aimed at death during cancer. Everything is aimed at death during daytime TV. It's putting people in a, the television wasn't weaponized for nothing, was it? It's a patented weapon. If you want to watch a horror film, you get a horror film. What do you get a horror film for? You get it to make you scared. And if the film's good, it does its job. Well, they've put that much thought into this programming that they think they can just tell you what to do. Well, they showed that they can. They've took everything off you, then they give you a bit back. Then they've took more and they give you a bit more back. Then they've took even more and they're giving you a bit more back. People think after this weekend, that's it. Lockdown's done. We're going back to normal. I just can't, I'm not that confident in, man. Certainly not in Boris and the government.
No,
our best interest in that.
The only time it's over is when we say no and we overturn the cunts. Graham Lay, good evening, Graham. He says, get back to nature and limit Facebook. Facebook is used to depress as much as it can help. And that's a great point. I know that I don't use Facebook very much. I use it simply for the show, but I do sometimes have a quick gawp at it and, and scroll down perhaps late at night when I'm fucking bored shitless or adverts are on telly. And that's another point as well. They know that you're picking up your shit when adverts are on telly. Right. People say chuck your telly away. Right. Well, my missus watches telly. She watches this thing she watches. I like to watch football, so I'm not going to chuck my telly away. And while I've been for 18 months, 2 years nearly, I've been in this house, stuck in this house. So I try to take every opportunity I can to do something that's outside of this house. So sometimes I do go on Facebook, right? Okay, but I have noticed it does depress you. It makes you fucking. It brings things up. It's a bit like fucking. The TV you'll see a bit of daytime TV like you were saying before, weren't you? Daytime TV is funerals, fucking COVID adverts, NHS adverts, and then fucking adverts about saving a fucking monkey in fucking Azerbaijan because they're the rarest monkeys ever, and they need £5 a month from you in order to survive.
And the donkey sanctuary. Don't forget the donkeys.
And the donkey sanctuary, where the donkeys that have been worked to death. And look, I agree, all these things are fucking horrible. But I mean, you're talking to people who are sat at home in the middle of the day. That they are obviously the ones with the least money, aren't they? The majority are the ones with the least money. They're not earning unless you're working nights.
Captive audience of more. They've got the same old audience, the same captive audience that would have always been there or thereabouts at home. But now you've taken people who had thriving businesses and stuck them at home. A mate of mine, he's been furloughed from the gym that he works at. He gets free gym, but he works at the gym. He's been furloughed from that gym, and it was like, how did he put it? I was sat there just watching telly. Then all of a sudden, I realised I've been sat in my dressing gown for 3 days. That's not me, That's not me. And he had to force himself to get a shower and get dressed and get out because he'd become so comfortable in just not going, not doing. And that, it's a timely quote from 1984 come up on my feed. About that everything will be illegal apart from work. Singing, dancing, laughing. Is that possible? Could it be possible? I've no idea anymore because I thought this reality had like a bit of common sense running through it, and I just seem to think it's gone off. I mean, talk about mental health. Whoever buys these, have you seen the new Nike trainers that they're advertising?
Yeah, with the blood in them.
Yeah, that's the what's selling 666 pairs or something as a promo, and it's been promoted by somebody called Lil Nas. Apparently, I don't know if he's a rapper or something. I don't know him, but he's like in front of the camera like that, and Satan's behind him. Now, what does that and Satan like that behind him give you the impression of?
Well, he's a big mate of Satan.
Yeah, but it's like he's having intercourse with Satan on the photographs. On the
I'll tell you what it to me it appears. Right, it's like saying, looking at you now and saying, I possibly think you're a Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
Because of what you got behind you. You know, because of what you got behind you. It's, I think anyone who is going to look and think is a Liverpool fan. So if you've got fucking Satan behind you, you're a fucking Satanist. What's he doing then? Fucking Satan or what? Is it?
That's the impression that you're meant to get, that Satan is giving him one from behind. Now, that is when you look at the comments of like people who go out and buy these trainers, because I don't know how much they are. Maybe they're 666 quid. I don't know. But if you go and buy these trainers, it says something about you. It says you're either, it's just a cool trainer, it's only a gimmick. Well, that's brilliant. That's what Satan always wanted you to do. It's not about killing you and everything like that. It's just about distraction, giving you what you want. Feed what your greed is and all that kind of stuff. The actual opposite to that trainer is the selling Jesus trainers as well, with holy water in the soul.
Awesome. Are you going to get some Jesus trainers?
No.
How much are they going to be?
Completion, innit? Must be dearer than Satan's.
The good thing about them is if you bought some Jesus trainers and you wore them had them for a few years and wore them till they were fucked, all you have to do is put them in a cupboard for 3 days and fucking take them out again, and they'll be all brand new.
Well, put it this way: when I was talking about it, some lad, he went, "That means everybody could walk on water." It's just, I mean, I don't know if you've noticed over the past year though as well. I mean, I've had people who've not argued, but had a debate with me about Captain Tom, right? I feel sorry for Captain Tom. He was a lovely old fella. But when you expand on the Captain Tom stuff and you see that his family is now making a lot of money off contracts for PPE, and Captain Tom survived 10 years with pneumonia and dies 3 weeks after his jab, but it's nothing to do with the jab. Every person I know who's had the jab has been ill after it. Some have only been overnight. Some are still having the effects. Some are still feeling headache, nauseous, aching all over. It's too late to start talking to people about what that vaccine actually is then. It's done. And people very close to me who I care about have already had it done. And I can't badger them about it, but for anybody who's still contemplating and they've not done as much research as they could have, NHS, all that kind of stuff, World Health Organization, that's one thing. But go and have a look at what thousands of professionals are saying. When you've got somebody like Geert Vandenbosch, Jace, who's worked for Pfizer and worked for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, coming out and saying, this COVID-19 vaccine is brilliant. It's absolutely awesome piece of kit. It's going to create such great antibodies. But the problem we've got is with this mass vaccine rollout, we're going to give the vaccine to people who haven't had the infection. And what happens is, and it was described on the show I was watching, is like, how you have a back four as your defence, and normally you'll put one or two midfielders as destroyers, won't you, in front of a back four? 98% of all infections, those two midfielders are dealing with it all. What happens is, if you've not had this infection that the antibodies won't recognise because you've got the antibodies and no infection, the infection comes in, the antibodies don't recognise it and creates a pathway straight through your immune system to your organs. And he claims that if we don't stop the rollout, it's going to create an immunity catastrophe where people will, this bug will then double, triple, in strength because it's getting straight through. There's no immunity that's taking it apart. And if you've had this mRNA or the GMO vaccine, your immune system has been changed. So how's that going to react if you start to get really ill? Is there going to be an immune system left? I don't know. But nobody's bothering to ask these questions. And these people are professional people who've put the letters after the name on the line, put the licenses on the line. Dr. Adil, all that time ago, he was saying the same things, and everybody launched on him, and he got his license suspended. This is what's happening to people who are asking questions. If it's illegal to ask questions, you've got to be suspicious, and that's what it's getting to be, illegal to ask questions.
Yeah. Denny's in the chat room. Let's just say hello to a few people in the chat room. We've got Denny in there. He says, "Where's Leeds, Jason?" I don't know what, actually. I had a text message from him last week. I think I got a text message from him a week after I did the last show. I got a text message from him the week after saying, "Nice to see you back." So I don't know where he is, but I will certainly chase him up after the show because Leeds is a fucking great guy. He's he's just the fucking top bloke. He's listened forever and a fucking day. He knows everything about Raconteurs news, which you are listening to, by the way. We're back. I'm back. My hands are a little bit better, so I thought I've got to do a show because, people are paying for this. So I don't want to get them fucking as if they're being ripped off. I've suddenly got an echo. Is that? Oh, no, it's gone now. Anyway, Uni's in there. Good evening to you, Uni over there in Washington. Thomas Tierney, hello to you. Sean Amer, this sounds crazy, but I've been looking into Jonestown. It was a template. I think something very similar is occurring. All this madness. Jonestown was a CIA experiment to see how people would react. There you go. I mean, if you've not looked up Jonestown, that were it called? Peter Jones or no? What were it called? Oh, come on! Someone tell us his first name. Fucking Jones. It was called Jim Jones, weren't it?
Jim Jones, that's him.
Jim Jones.
I was going to say Jimmy Jones, and that's Jimmy's not right.
Yeah, Jim Jones. He set up this area which he called somewhere in Nicaragua, weren't it? Somewhere in Nicaragua, but he bought this land and he set up this haven, and people went and stayed there and lived there. Some people said that you were forced to stay there. Others didn't. I mean, there were families of people that were there that were asking Congress can you go and check this out, and asking what's going on here and why are these people doing this. And so what happened were eventually a congressman flew in to Jonestown to go and see what were going on. Now, while he was there, he were on his way back to his plane after being fully satisfied that everything that were going on was okay and there was nothing wrong. And people started passing him notes saying, there's something going on here. Can you get us out of here, please? People started passing him notes. So anybody, I think they took anybody that wanted to come, and they weren't very many, and they got onto the airstrip, and then gunmen opened fire and killed them all, including congressmen, right on the airstrip. So this American congressman gets killed. Jonestown then was obviously under siege, and Jim Jones got everybody to drink. This is drink your Kool-Aid. That's what he were mixed in with. Your Kool-Aid, the poison, and he said, if you believe, you've got to drink it. And he, I think there were about 900 people who died, who just killed themselves, just drank the poison. I mean, and if you can do that, if you can manipulate people into doing that, but by telling them, I don't know if he told them that it were poison or whether but he told them we had to drink it, and they did. Yeah, it were a terrible situation. So anybody, if you've not heard about that, have a look. Jonestown. It was. There's lots of documentaries on it, and it's a really interesting thing. Well, I wanted to ask you, Webby. I've not really been, like I said, I've not been paying attention. What's all this shit with this fucking big tanker that's blocking off Suez Canal? Are we having another Suez crisis? Because the oil shortage in '70s, and that's why they,
I don't think it's going to be about oil. The backlog of ships that are stuck there, it's going to take. I mean, have they moved it yet? Last I'd seen, they hadn't even got it moved.
No,
they were going to try and refloat it, I think, on Saturday with the tide. That was pretty much the last I'd heard about them moving anything, and it's still where it is. Now, depending on where you get your information from, Jason, it's from food shortages massively, which they're going to use to increase fuel prices as well. There's a blockage in Suez, mate. Come on. It's easy done, isn't it? But it's food shortages. I think that's what they're trying to encourage people to believe next. The other information, which is a bit vaguer, is the tankers could be possibly carrying human trafficking, and there's going to be a big sweep on there. So you've got the QAnons that are swinging about again to see if see if there's anything going. Like I said, it's just all information, isn't it? We don't know what it is. It's people are looking into the name Evergreen and linking that with Hillary Clinton, and even to the serial number HR3C, Hillary Rodham Clinton. If you take 3 out, people are looking into everything minutely. It takes
as people do. As
they do, because people want answers. But the trouble is, when you get stuck down rabbit holes like that and don't come back, then you've got to come back. You've got to come back and say, right, I've been down there, and I've got questions, but come back, because something somewhere down the line will go, hey, do you not remember you had questions about that? Look at this. And it just joins up in the end.
Yeah. It's there is a lot of that. I mean, what's happened over the last year is there's a lot of people that have been switched on to alternative stuff. And unfortunately, they have to go through the baby stage, which is
9/11.
They have to. They have to go through 9/11. They have to go through a lot if you want to get to where you really know what's going on. But they don't. They get in and they straighten on QAnon and what have you. And then they believe in that, and it's sort of tough. And the way that things are going. I mean, you put me onto a video the other day of Brian Harvey. I mean, that's tell us about that. I mean, what's been going on with that? With him and what's her face, Sharon?
He's obviously been having some kind of sparring with Sharon, but I didn't even watch it all. But it sounds like the allegations that are being made is that Brian has made calls to people pretending to be Sharon, and all that kind of case. So the police have been sent round because of that. That's why he's named her on this video. And it's all theatre to me, Jace. That's
what it appeared to me. That's exactly what it appeared to me. I mean, from my understanding, from what a video that I watched that Sharon had put up, Brian had put up a video where he was using a teddy bear and pretending to be Sharon Gale and smacking the teddy bear as if it were her baby that died. I mean, that's beyond the pale, isn't it? That really.
Yeah, Kerry Duff in the chat room is saying that Sharon has nothing to do with his arrest, but like I said, that he just names her about 4 minutes, and that's the only reason why I sent it to you, because he named.
I mean, that's the only reason I've mentioned it, because he was saying, "It's fucking Sharon Gale. Is it fucking Sharon Gale? Is it fucking Sharon Gale?" So, I fucking don't know what. Like you say, it's all fucking theatre. I mean, Sharon, from the last couple of videos that I've seen, I mean, Sharon seems to have steadied herself, shall we say, quite a bit. From what we were seeing before.
You froze, mate. Oh, you're back.
Am I back?
Yeah, you froze. You're back.
Oh well, all right then. But Sharon seems to be doing okay at the moment. So if you're listening, Sharon, or if you get to hear this, all the best to you, and I hope you're feeling okay. The Truth at Industrial Complex soap opera, says Mahatma Malevolence. That's pretty much what it is, isn't it?
Pretty much. But that's how it's playing out. That's how it's playing out. It's the spiritual battle. Good against evil. That's what this is. You've got to pick your sides now. Time to pick your side.
How do you know your side, though? How can you discriminate between one side and another? What's the overriding difference? Because the bad, the evil, will dress itself up and disguise itself as good. So yeah, go on.
No, I'm saying that's the flattering side of all this, isn't it? It comes to you. I mean, how many times back in your youth, Jace, have you just made a decision's come into your head and you've done it, and later you've gone, why the hell did I do that? Why would I do that? And then hopefully you've learned that lesson. Well, a lot of people don't learn those lessons, and they don't necessarily even have anything that happens to them to teach them those lessons. But when lessons come, learn from them, because repeating history is not good. And all I can see is yet another repeat of history again. And they're going to change everything. This big reset, nobody wants to talk about the reset. What does that mean? Go and see what Schwab says about it. He's loving it. I wonder why.
Who's that?
Klaus Schwab.
Schwab?
I think it's Schwab.
Klaus?
Klaus with a K.
Ah, right, okay. And what's he loving?
He's published a book on the big reset, how the economy is going to
come back
after COVID.
Sorry, I was reading comments, and so I sort of got taken off of listening to you on to comment. Sorry about that. I do apologise as your erstwhile host this evening. You're listening to Raconteurs News. We're back. I'm feeling better. My hands today is the only day I've really felt like I could do anything. So we're back anyway, and we're going to be back every Tuesday and probably on a dirty Friday or Thursday or Friday evening for a little bit of The mad world of fucking mad. I hate people who describe themselves as crazy. Oh, I'm crazy. I'm crazy. They inevitably not. They're not fucking not crazy at all, are they?
Steve Moore just said in the chat room that he says that you will own nothing and you'll be happy. As he's correct. We own nothing now. In this system, we can't own anything. But in Klaus Schwab's world, you're going to the glasses on your face, Jace. You're going to rent, and then when they break, you take them back and get a new pair, but you'll pay for them. And your T-shirt, you'll rent your clothes, you'll rent your shoes, you'll rent your scootermobile. You're going to rent everything. That's the new reset. So they're going to get you to pay. Don't know what with, because they're going to have to create a currency which is still going to be debt-based unless you're all on universal credit and you're all dependent and you do as you're told. That's the big thing. That seems to be the steps that they're going to. But there's got to be a big cull first. There's got to be people who go first, hasn't there? It normally has. What did Stalin do? 50 million more? Mao more? Hitler? They all took guns off people and then killed them all. What's Joe Biden just said? Write a bill for let police seize the guns. Now, is that still theatre? Is Trump going to...
But that won't happen, would it? When you try to implicate that in a state of Texas, first of all, you'd have you'd have the people in the what's the local things called, the senators. The senators would be blocking any bill that would happen with that. It never happened in Texas. I mean, in Texas, you've got people who really, really, really would, who really say, take guns away from me, out of my dead cold hands.
Yeah, what does that do, though? If they take guns from certain states and then Texas says no, civil war, they all go to Texas to take the guns. That's what is being created. It's primed for civil war. Look at what's happened in Bristol. If people can't at least have a question on whether the right this bill stuff now being implicated. Oh, you mean the police, which isn't the police, it's the bill that they're putting through Parliament. They're getting all promoted. They're smashing things up, just like BLM. Where's BLM been? Had they stopped paying them? They've not been there. Now they come. You've got to be able to ask questions, Jace. When you're told you can't ask questions, then there's something wrong. And the part what we've got to now is the general public are now bullying the general public into shutting up, putting your mask on. A friend of mine was in Sainsbury's and shop, not even bothered. But this woman comes up to her in the middle of the shop and says, "Haven't you got a mask?" What the hell has that got to do with you? But it's okay for us to now start bullying. You've got license to bully because of a pandemic with a 99.9% recovery rate, and influenza's gone. Nothing to think about, though, is there?
That's interesting, that, because I mean, to me or you, that woman would just get fuck off. Have you not got a mask? No, it's not Halloween. You know that sort of shit. From me or you, but there are people that perhaps don't want to wear a mask and really are against wearing masks, but don't have the confidence to then turn to a middle-aged woman and tell her to go and fuck herself because she's asking where his mask is. It's something that's it's very easy to say, well, I'll just go to fuck yourself, go fuck yourself. But it's when you're in that situation, for a lot of people, it's difficult to do, isn't it? Yeah. So I mean, and again, if that person's having problems with their mental health, that altercation or that interaction that they're having with another human being is going to make them feel more divided from society on what people class as normal people, and it's going to just make the mental health worse. We need to stop. We need to put a stop to this. We need to put a stop to it by just all not wearing masks. Just all not wearing masks. The only people I see fucking wearing masks are walking up and down the street, are fucking medical professionals. My nurses, when they come with all fucking lawn. So, which is good for me because it means I can have a fucking drink at 7:30 in the morning and they can't smell it on me when they come to take me fucking blood. Right? So, because they've got all that shit all over the face, including the fucking windscreen. Then people who work in fucking shops and people don't tell it. That's it. Other people don't, apart from Chinese next door. But I think they just do that anyway. That's what they just did. Wear masks. I think they're quite used to it. But for me, because I don't get very far and don't go very many places, I don't get to see as much as everybody else. But my missus tells me when she's out to us, it's just like it's normal. Nobody's giving a shit. Nobody's caring about this and that and another. And now I hear non-essential shops can open. We've got Meadowhall, which is a huge shopping centre down the road from us, just off M1, and around about half stores they aren't reopening. They're not reopening.
No, they won't do, mate. And I've seen a Weatherspoons advert today stating that they're going to open 18 brand new pubs and refurbish others, but they're worried about the constant changing in the rules. Rules. Did you hear what he said? Rules. Everybody keeps talking about law. Where's this thing come from? That it's law for masks. Do you know what? If it was something that you put on that would keep you safe, that you had to wear, then you couldn't really argue against it. But when there's so many questions, I don't mean one or two from obscure internet sites. I mean, in mainstream media, so many people, professionals, experts, are coming out and talking about this and saying the governments aren't handling this very well. Well, that's a nice way of saying it, isn't it?
Oh yeah, God, fucking hell! It's a situation that we seem to have got ourselves into that the world over. When did anything happen in the entire world at the same time? Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
The problem with
this never happens. This never happens, and you've got differences. You've got places, Belarus, I think, that's not done anything. They've just carried on like normal. Sweden have not put a lockdown in place, and they seem to be doing okay. We're not talking about fucking dead Swedish corpses floating down, are we?
No.
They're going past because they didn't have a lockdown. No, we're not. Because it didn't happen, because this is just an excuse. It's not a virus, it's an excuse. There might be a virus there, but that's just part of the excuse. We need to shut you down for whatever reason. There is a reason for this. We perhaps don't understand that reason, and we like to speculate. But there is a reason for this. It's not happening for fucking shits and giggles. At the moment, it seems like, and people will say this, you get like, and I don't know whether this is his, whether it's his opinion or not, but, I'm just going to use him as somebody who's talked about the virus being real, right? Oh God, you know what? I fucking forgot what I'm going to say. I forgot what I'm going to say. I'm going all fucking what's his name? Trigger. I haven't gone on. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, they were right. Jason Webby is right. The reason is genocide. You're right. It's a genocide. They don't give a fuck about you.
It's multifaceted though. It's not just one thing. It's multifaceted. They're making money. They're forgiving debt. A lot of debt's been getting swapped about. So if you're in like loads and loads of debt and they come over to you and say, well, your business is still all right. Do you remember what I think I've said it on one of the shows before? The NHS, that 13.4 billion debt wiped. March. The terminology is beware the Ides of March. The Romans always forgave debts in March. Why? Well, it'd be like, hey, Jace, you've got a nice little shop here. You owe us quite a few quid, though. Tell you what, we're going to forgive all your debts. You work for us now. And that is the takeover of the country. Steve Moore posted that Weatherspoons have snapped up loads of pubs. I think he put 18. It might have been me that. But they've snapped up loads of pubs for fuck all in Ireland. Now, if you go back to Demolition Man, the only place you went to eat was Taco Bell because everything was Taco Bell. Is everything going to be Weatherspoons?
Yeah, but I mean, you've got
certainly not going to be many local wet bars left. You know, the pubs that just deal in ale and don't do food.
Yeah, and you've got the Monopolies and Mergers Commission. I mean, that's fucking just going to be disbanded because that's all we'll be able to have is monopolies because that's all who can afford it. McDonald's, who's been staying open throughout the whole fucking thing. The one thing that's probably worse than the vaccine, and it's been allowed to stay fucking open. All these fast food fucking restaurants and stuff. It's just crazy, fucking crazy. Now we've got this ship and it's evergreen and it's this in Suez Canal and it's evergreen and everyone jumps on the fact that Will Young's first #1 single were evergreen. And look where he is now. He's fucked. So, you know, that's where we're going. You know, I'm just being facetious and being a bit of a daft cunt, but like, you know what I mean? We've gone from well, I don't know what we were before. Would you like us to go back to what we were before?
We can't go back to what it was before because businesses' jobs have gone. How did they get them back? If we're going to start talking about money again, where are those people who have thriving businesses who've been paying rent or whatever on property that they've not been able to use? And then the ridiculousness of it now is, Jace, when they open these restaurants again, you're not going to be able to go inside and eat, so they're going to put tents up outside for you to sit in the dining area. So you're still all going to sit together, but outside. I've lost all common sense with this, pal. I'm just going to let it
lost all common sense. You haven't lost all common sense. You are looking for someone else's fucking common sense.
That's what I mean. The common sense is completely gone, and all I can do now, because if I fight against it, I'm going to end up getting dragged with it. I've got to just let it go. It's too much, mate. You know, there's too much rubbish coming from people who are so ill-informed. And over the years, I've ended up in spats and arguments that I could have really done without. And I've got to the point now where, do you know what? You've just got to live your own life, do your own path. If you believe in God, brilliant. If you believe in a table that's your God, that's brilliant too. But get on with it. If you believe in vaccines, great. If you believe in vaccines but you'd like to know more and you're a bit doubtful about this one, great. Tell people who are just going willy-nilly. But don't bash them on their head because it just causes issues.
Don't
Yeah,
work.
you just got to let them do it. Let them do what they do.
It don't work. I mean, when people ask me, they talk about fucking vaccine and what have you, and then they say, they ask me about it, what I think, and they're just going to do what they fucking want anyway. If they want to go on holiday, they're going to take vaccine. Simple as that. If they don't fucking know, they're going to take the vaccine, aren't they?
Yeah,
If they want to
I
go on
know
holiday,
people.
we're being we're being blackmailed. You either take this vaccine.
At the very least, it's coercion.
It's fucking blackmail. Look, if you can't do something unless someone shoves something in you, that's blackmail.
The one thing that another thing that people who've had this vaccine haven't thought about is this: when you go to have this vaccine and these tests, you're signing up, you're consenting. Now, it's advertised in their own stuff that these vaccine trials will end in 2023. If you don't go and check your insurance policies to see if joining anything like vaccine trials could void your policy, I think you'd better get onto it, because as you were talking about insurance companies, I can see insurance companies not paying out. You mentioned how they're going to get out of it. This could be how they're going to get out of it. We were talking, how many years ago were we talking about councils having their own crematoriums? How many months ago? Having their own crematoriums. Where
somebody mentioned that in the chat earlier.
COVID patients going straight down to the crematorium though. No post-mortem, no nothing.
No.
Wow.
No. Postmortems have been suspended, haven't they? Unless in like significant cases, apparently. So,
well, what's a significant case? I think if somebody close to you's passed, I think that's a significant case.
Well, yeah, of course. So I'm talking about a significant case for them. They don't give a fuck.
That's what I'm saying. To us, it's significant.
Would be something that they might be in trouble for.
Yeah.
But for them, you don't know what a significant case is.
Exactly.
The vaccine companies are not liable as well. Someone's pointed out. Chris O'Rourke in the chat room. Stewie, who mentioned earlier on, would you like to meet at Meadowhall? I will do when we're all better. When I'm all better, I'll certainly definitely go and meet you at Meadowhall. I want to say hello to Paula, who is down in Cornwall as well. She sends me emails from time to time. Well, not just me. She sends them to me, Danielle, and Watson. And they always cheer me up. So a big thank you to you. And she don't want one back, which is really good because I can't really type at the moment. My hands are fucked. Good evening to you, Paula, down there in Cornwall. I hope you're okay. I hope you're feeling good. Trisha Morticia, she says, hello, my job's gone too. See, this is just fucking where we're at in it. Is jobs going, minds going,
health going,
mental health going. Ed's going. I mean, there's a lot of mental health stuff on telly as well, isn't there? I mean, these adverts, a lot of them are connected to mental health.
Well,
so they know what they're fucking doing.
Of course they do. They fucked up generations of kids. Kids don't know what they are. They think they can be anything. I can identify as a table. If I went home as a kid to my dad and said, look, Dad, I'm not doing that because I'm identifying as a table, I'd have been chopped up and put on a fire for saying something so ridiculous. Now that's how I think common sense works. But we've now got this safety net for people who can't cope with life, and I've not been able to cope with life. But who's going to do things for me? It's going to be, these people are primed to be government, aren't they? Because the government will do things for them. So it'll be the nanny state, which is taking the kids from the parents, which they've done. They decimated the family. I mean, I think it was something like some statistics in like the 1940s and 1950s. Black marriages had like a 99% success rate or 98% success rate. Look at it now. And that's not by accident. That's by cultural influences now. And you can't say that hasn't happened, because I've grown up through those cultural influences, as you did. I had to have certain types of trainers, I had to have certain types of names and stuff like that. You couldn't live if you didn't. And
Yeah,
it's gone to an inclusion of everybody, but it doesn't necessarily make sense a lot of the time. And when you're passing legislation to stop somebody saying something that is quite plain, that, oh yeah, he said that, and somebody's going, you can't say that. That's a man, isn't it? Yeah, I'm a man. Well, I can say that. Yeah, but you might upset. That's where we're now getting ridiculous. I don't care what you are, who you are, what you want to do, what you want to be. Do it. But don't say that I've got to participate in it in some way that I can't talk openly and honestly. Because there's no such thing as talking about black people, two black people, and being racist. I've had Owen on. Owen's one of my mates. Am I racist if I call him black? Is he racist when he calls me white? We've had this conversation. We don't know what's gone wrong here, because he grew up in real racist times, and he states it's gone the complete opposite. Whereas nothing's really changed for me. It's strange. It's a strange world, Jason. I don't know how else to put it. It's like toing and throwing. And then in between, people getting dizzy and they go, what should I do? And the government just go, do that. And they go, okay.
Yeah. Well said, Webby, says Kerry Duff. Linda Curtis, they want us freely give out our rights away. They can't force us, just blackmail. That's it. And that's a good point. I mean, it is blackmail, isn't it? I think we just said this and you answered it. Do I really want to go on holiday that much? I'm not going on. I'm not fucking doing it so that I can go on holiday abroad. They'd have to say, okay, well, I'll tell you what, we'll gear this fucking vaccination. But in fact, there's nobody could say that I'd take it. There's nobody could do or say that I'd take it. So when it looks like I'm holiday in fucking Britain for the rest of my life. Don't bother me.
No, I can't. There's no way I can have that. I mean, I had a flu jab back in 1990 when I still lived with my mum, and it was pushed as my mum was getting it free. I can get it free because my mum's vulnerable and I live with her, so I can get it free. Didn't know anything back then. I was horrendously ill for weeks, and I'm not sure if I quite recovered, because I'd suffered a lot with ear, nose, and throat issues. You know, even now, I'll wake up and I can be not bunged up, but there's crap there. I've just got these issues, and as soon as they were talking about these test kits where you're going up to your blood-brain barrier and back, I went, no chance. I've had enough problems here. I had I don't know what procedure they call it, but there's a like surgical procedure for snoring where they put like 2 probes into your palate and they send radio waves through them to damage the soft tissue to try and harden it so it doesn't, resonate and make you snore. Right. It never helped me snoring, but it just messed my ear, nose, and throat up. And then there was other medical issues regarding masks. But to do all that and then put a mask on and no, not a prayer. If you look at what the vaccine is, it isn't what a vaccine is. A vaccine puts a small part of whatever it is in you with, to create your immune system, to create antibodies to it.
Yeah.
That's what it virus vaccine is. The problem is, if they'd have put it to genetic modification, it wouldn't have got through public health. But they've put vaccine on it and it's flown through again. And allegedly, according to mainstream media, 30 million people have had this. 30 million people have been genetically modified, people I know. I don't know what that means right now. I'm trying to put information together, but a vaccinologist who tells me what these antibodies are going to do for people who haven't been infected with what it's meant to have antibodies against, it's not going to be good. And that sounds like it could cause mass deaths. And then the mainstream media are going to play the tune and everybody's going to ring a ring of roses, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, it's been done before. I always were taught, when I asked what a vaccination were when I was a kid, I was told it were you get a bit of whatever it is that they're vaccinating you against, and then your body creates antibodies against it, right? And then you're immune from it. So you used to get what they were. I had TB, I think, when I was a kid. You must have had TB jab, tuberculosis, and I think that was just about it, really. I don't know what you had as a baby.
Polio. Measles, mumps, and rubella I had as a kid, and polio, and then I had the TB, and I've only ever had a tetanus apart from one flu jab. Them are the only things.
We're identical. We are identical. I had the TB jab. I've had one tetanus, and I've had one flu jab years ago. Must be 15 years ago. So we're identical. You live and you learn, don't you? I mean, I didn't know different back then. I was just like people are now, aren't they? Many people are now. So you just you get your information from your doctor says it's okay. You think, all right, well then it's okay, and I'll take it. And that's what you thought, and that's what people are still thinking these days.
You know what, mate? When I was younger, I remember when I was at the doctor's one time, I was asking a few questions, and I must have been in my late teens, and I just said, no, I've been in mid to late 20s, and I said, do you think I should have like a test for HIV or out like that? Because, you know, if I find another partner, because I wouldn't say I've been sleeping around a lot, but I've been a bit promiscuous back then. And I said, do you think it's worth me doing it? Because, you know, it worries me if I meet somebody else. He says, have you got any symptoms of any STDs or STIs? I went, no, I've never had anything like that. And he says, well, the way he put it was, he almost like dismissed the fact that AIDS and HIV was not as common as what people were being told it was. Now, you're going back to the 90s, though, and it didn't really make any sense to me then, because I just thought, oh, he was classed as he was like a new type of doctor to come into the area where I lived. He was classed as like a holistic doctor, so he'd try acupuncture, whereas the old type of doctor said, oh no, just 2 paracetamol and a glass of water, get to bed. That type of stuff, he'd use all that kind of thing. So I felt, looking back, he had a little bit more of an open mind of what was going on. Because when you look into stuff like that and you find out about the man-made AIDS virus and this Zika virus that's caused all this, when do you wake up? When do you stop justifying things for other people? When your common sense kicks in and you go, yeah, you're right, these useless masks. Well, it's only for 10 minutes. I'll get my fags.
Is that a hat there that's on the back of the settee behind you, or is it a cat?
It's my monkey.
Your monkey?
Well, she's well asleep.
Oh, is that your cat, is it? She must
She's
be
a
well
monkey.
asleep.
She's a monkey, mate. She's an absolute monkey. She's a rescue cat. My friend got her for me, and she said, you'll know when she's settled in because she won't shut up. From when I'll get up in the morning to going out through the door and coming back in, until she's been fed, that's where she goes then.
That was a great good cat impression. I thought it was a real cat.
She's got a very distinct meow, this one. It's not like the.
So what we going to do to them to get them to fucking leave us alone on this as we lead up to the oh, by the way, everyone, if you want to give us a thumbs up or anything like that, that'll be superb. And tell all your mates as well. Let's get some people listening to this crap that we put out. Yeah, so give us a subscription and hit the notification bell. Ding! Then like a thing comes up and it goes ding like that. And then a fucking advert comes on. And then you watch another 4 minutes and a fucking advert comes on again. So you turn the bastard off. So, but we don't do that, see. So just give us a like and a notification, and that would be absolutely awesome. It's myself and Webby tonight. We're just talking. We're back and forth in. It's 10 past 10, 9? 10 past 9? 9. Yep. 10 past 9. We're going to go through to 10, I think. If that's all right with you, Monsieur Webster.
I said, like I said when I texted you, it was more you. If you didn't, don't push it.
Oh yeah, I'm all right. I'm doing okay. I'm a little bit, as you can understand. I just had a shot of fucking morphine before I come upstairs, and now I've had.
Why are you forgetting what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Then I've had a bit of vodka and a joint as well on go. So that's why I keep forgetting what I'm talking about. But I like it. I like sitting here talking. It's like we're in a virtual room. These fucking Zoom things on telly. About these adverts for these things. That even Monopoly are at it. We fucking we use Teams by Microsoft. I mean, are they preparing us for when contact has got to be? You're going to have to get permission to be in physical contact with somebody else. I mean, are we getting to that or what?
Yeah, of course it is. It's called a vaccine passport. If you don't have your vaccine and you haven't got your passport, you won't be allowed in care homes, you won't be allowed in cinemas, football venues, music venues. They've just done one, was it in Barcelona, 5,000 crowd, all had vaccine passports, all negative tests, or both, one of the two, I don't know. And they're talking about vaccinations now every so often. Well, they've already ran out of the doses. They've got a few bits left, but they've nobody to give it to. So they're going to start giving it to whoever. That's what they're stating. It doesn't sound like it's something that's organised. It doesn't sound like something that they actually care about saving people's lives. I mean, I've got a testing station at the hospital at the back of me. I go for walks around there a lot, past around the back of the hospital, and there's nobody there. There's nobody going for these tests, so they're having them at work, they're doing it at home, I don't know. But the statistics, the positives, and like I said, you do enough tests with that PCR, you'll find positive for everything. Doesn't mean you're infected, doesn't mean you're ill. And, I've read a few of the hundreds of case studies on the asymptomatic transfer. Experts state that we don't equate it because it's so rare. So these are experts. The World Health Organization and the CDC even say similar things in parts of the website. So what are we doing? What are we doing? I think it's just been a beta test for moving on. and everybody's jumped on shit. Sean Amers posted in the chat room, if germ theory was real, we would never have learned how to make fire. You should expand on that, Sean.
I think you should as well. Germ theory. Well, listen, you know what I was thinking today? I've because of my hands and the situation I've had with my hands and my arms have been just as bad, really painful and everything. I've not really had a shower or fucking done anything. In fact, I was fucking sat on settee with my leg and my stump up in there while our ass fucking wiped my arse and washed me with a fucking flannel and a cloth because she said I stunk of shit and made me fucking. So I've not had a shave for like fucking weeks. And today I decided I were having a shave because I was doing a show tonight, right? And because I've not been able to have a shave because my hands have been fucked. So my hands felt all right, but because there was so much on there, and I thought to myself, why don't these people, all these fucking people, why don't they come up with a decent invention? Now, here's one. You know them things that posh people have on the garden, and they're like a remote control mower, and it just goes along, and then goes along, and then goes along. Why can't they make one that's a razor for your face? You know, so that you could put it on once every 2 days and let it go.
Drown your face.
Yeah, and shave your face. Now, that's something that I'd be interested in purchasing. James Dyson, if you're listening, right, we can charge about $1,000 for this, if you can just make one. But, like, if it's stuck to your face and then shaved it as it went, and you didn't have to do it because, you know, it took me an hour to shave off the shit I had on my face. It was all grey beard. I was starting to look like a fucking Eric monster. Oh, by the way, it was on last night. I had a bit of a listen to. Good thumbs up, Airy Cookie Monster. If you don't listen to him, you should do. So yeah, go on. Sorry, go on.
I forgot what I was going to say. Jason, are you sleeping on an inclined bed? Jimi Hendrix asks.
I'm not at the moment. No, I can't. Because we can't incline bed. It's just too fucking big. We've got one of them great big fucking wooden beds, and it's just too big, and it's got 3 things that need to be propped up, and obviously I'm fucking useless. I can't get down on the bed and prop the cunt up, could I? I'd never get back up again. So no, I'm not sleeping on the inclined bed, but I wish I were. Thanks for asking. And if anybody, please, if you you know, for your health, get your bed inclined. Look back through Raconteurs news for Andrew K. Fletcher's shows that he's done. So you know, it's like I'm near enough dead now anyway. So I might as well just make it fucking go along quicker. I'm just hoping, yeah. I'm hoping things turn out the way that I hope they turn out before I snuff it, and then our lass will be all right after I've gone. So that's all. But you know what? You're
listening to Raconteurs News.
Well, this fucking hand thing. I've been sat there fucking thinking, my God, I've only got 1 fucking foot left. I can't use anything apart from this 1 foot that I've got. I was down to 1 limb. Yeah. And I was getting down to like it weren't fucking worth it. You know, all pain and everything. I was thinking to myself, I've been in pain for God knows how long, and I don't know whether it's fucking worth it. But you know, it's got to be done it. Even for you know, just for fucking you lot. Just so I can talk to you, Webby, on a Tuesday night. It's fucking. Honestly, it's fucking really, really, really drained me fucking drained me spiritually as well.
I was speaking
you know,
about you. Go on, sorry.
Go on, mate. Go on.
I was saying I was speaking to somebody about you today, that you're my age and you've had 2 heart attacks, lost a leg, and he's in that much bloody pain now, and he's still going. You know, there's a reason. There's got to be a reason, mate. The thing is, in your situation, I mean, normally weed, morphine, and vodka wouldn't be a good mix, really, would it? You know. But when you've got something like that to deal with, I don't know if you sound similar to me. I've got that addictive personality. Alcohol gave me that prop. It was like a crutch. And, you know, as we've discussed many a time and before the show, that crutch turned into a wheelchair, that I managed to learn how to walk again. But I keep walking past the wheelchair every so often, you know, and I think, oh, it might be, yeah, I could just have a little ride in it. Doesn't work, mate. Doesn't work.
Well, listen. Look. I've got vodka, and I've got vodka and coke. I've got a fucking joint, and I've had some morphine earlier on. Right. I feel like I can talk. I'm probably fucking just kidding myself, as you do when you're pissed and you're fucking stoned. But I feel like I can talk, and have a conversation with somebody. All I was saying was, the fucking pain I've been in, you know, all this stuff helps, and all this stuff does help, because I can't.
Gives you focus, doesn't it? Gives you focus. Yeah, I mean, you said yourself you can't get out much. It gives you this focus. With that mix, you should have had your bloody lift light on, mate. You should be boogieing now. You should have the decks going.
I know. Listen, I will be. I'm just fucking feeling a bit sorry for myself sometimes. I just wonder why fucking me, that's all. And then I fucking think about, you know, what I did in my past lives. And I think, well, yeah, that's probably why. Angels, mate, angels.
We're all bad uns, son. We're all bad uns.
We are. We're all barons. Let's see what's going on in chat room. New being. I haven't said hello to you. Good evening to you, new being. Too right, Jace. That is Stewie. Mandy Genre. Self-made. I Kate. What's that mean? Oh God. Blah 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 blah. Keep on keeping us. It's your call. It's duty. We love you. Thank you. Look. Thank you, everybody. I'm just, you know, sometimes I just fucking feel. I just think to myself, what the fuck did I do to deserve this? I must have been a great cunt in my last life. I must have been something like fucking Hitler or something. But he's still alive, so I can't be reincarnation of him, can I? He didn't die until 1974 in Argentina, did it? So,
allegedly. That's what. Do you know what? The point is, mate, is that possible? Let's just leave it at that question. Is it possible that he escaped or was allowed to? Because I'm sure we captured Napoleon, and rather than kill him and get rid of him, we dumped him on an island and he came back. So we have this thing. I don't know if they call it noble or, you know, things amongst criminals. I don't know. There's something about these elites, for want of a better way of putting it, from all these other countries who have, through secret societies, have been able to collaborate with people in high positions, put people in high positions, pass legislation, give banking systems to people, will give control of a money supply, don't care who makes its laws. So all this was put into place within a couple of 100 years this time round. It's not slavery like it was Egypt or, you know, in medieval times. It's not that type of slavery. This is usury. It's voluntary. but people can't differentiate between voluntary and not doing it. No, you have to do it. No, you don't have to do that. But people it's that mental block, and that's the education system. Unfortunately, it cuts kids into shapes that it wants, and they've wanted them all the same shape at one time. But I think they found that cutting kids into all the same shape, there was rebels. There was a lot of rebellion. I didn't like school. I'm pretty sure you didn't like school, mate, because they were cutting you into a shape that you didn't fit. Well, what's the opposite to that? Let the kids be what they want. I want to be a potato. You be a potato then.
Yeah. Let's cut you up and make some chips.
Oh, I don't want to be that potato.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll fucking partner you with a kid who says, I want to be a cannibal.
It's it really is weird. I can't. Sometimes you end up keep repeating. We had this conversation on the show last year. You start repeating yourself, don't you? Because we were talking about the same thing over and over again, but there'd be a slight change, and it was on virtually a daily basis at one time. So it was like they were testing people at all different stages from all different angles, and they were doing them in areas they thought they could get away with it. So Nottingham, they did it. Bristol, all down that coastline there, because Cornwall and all that I'm pretty sure the police and councils are quite close, shall we say. London, obviously. Manchester, they tried it in. I'm not too sure about Sheffield and that, but they were trying it in all the main cities. So if I'd have tried to get onto a bus without a mask and go into Manchester and then go into shops, I think I'd have experienced more than what I do locally, which is basically zero.
Yeah. And that's the good thing about it, isn't it? Is that if you feel more comfortable local, that's only going to help the local economy, and local small businesses and stuff like that. You go and get your veg from, fucking Cabbage John.
That's what it's made me do. Rather than just wait and go to the supermarket and get everything, I'll have a walk into town now and go to the market and buy off the local stalls. Got some cracking potatoes off there, miles better than anything I've ever had from any of the supermarkets. But, it's, I don't know, it's going to come down to people, Jace, and you can't change people. And I forget who posted in the chat room then that you can't wake people up who enjoy being asleep. Love Island's on. I've got a life. I've heard it all. Of course, you've got to pay for your gas in a debt-based economy. What are you going to pay for it with? Money. Well, there isn't any money in a debt-based economy. You're a dickhead. So we go round in circles. We've had a conversation. The last couple of weeks, done. That's it.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not really, are you? Because you were talking about education system. What you're talking about is they're out putting fucking drones, and then it's up to people like us to re-educate those fucking drones and get them into a place where they understand the world better. Because somebody's going to understand the world better from our point of view than they are of this fucking shit that they give them at school.
Yeah, but what I mean is,
you can't. I know you. Sorry, go on.
No, I'm just saying what I mean is I won't get dragged into arguments about things anymore. If they don't understand it and they start getting abusive, that's it. I'm out of there now.
Yeah, you will.
I'm done with it. I can't be arsed with it, Jace.
No, you will.
The point is, if you can't give basic information to somebody and they take that basic information and weigh it up for themselves, if they're not capable of doing that because that's their belief, You can't change it. I've gone through phases 8-10 years ago where I wanted to grab people by the ears and headbutt them with every word. It doesn't work. So I'm taking a new tack.
No, you can't. But you know, when those people realise and those people go looking, don't you want to be there to be able to explain to them, you know, what really is going on, you know, because there's going to be people. It's been a year, and there must be more people now in like alternative media. I mean, we got that. God, what's his? And I know he's not really alternative, and he's not really mainstream. What's his name? Fucking hell, Alex Belfield, who keeps getting raided by coppers.
Yeah,
took all his stuff twice. They were arrested him 3 times. They never charged him with out.
No.
And if you listen to him, you know, but you're not going to agree with quite a bit of what he says. You're not going to agree with when he's talking about Prince Harry and he's calling him our prince, and you know he's talking about the royal family and you know reveration of them. But you know, if you watch and have a good look, he's been arrested over and over again on direction of the BBC, which is what he claims anyway. It's on direction of the BBC. And we know the BBC are a bunch of cunts. So that don't come really as much of a shock. And Nottinghamshire Police, as the UK column pointed out, Nottinghamshire Police, they've got a bit of form in this type of thing with the Melanie Shaw case. Whatever you think about that, you know, it don't matter. Well, these are just puzzle pieces that I'm trying to put together. Then you got Brian Harvey trying to contact Alex Belfield, and Alex Belfield just ignore him completely. I mean, what? I don't know what the fuck they wanted. But anyway, he was trying to contact him. You've got to look at all others, apart from the ones you blocked from, and you've got little bits of truth in certain things. There's some on UK column. There's some on. I'm not advocating watching UK column. There's some on. That's only because we're impartial. There's someone like Alex Belfield as well. It's just interesting stuff to watch. You know, all these things developing, and we were talking before about. Did we talk about it on a show, or were it before when we talked about the video that Brian did that you sent me?
We've done both. We've spoke on it on the and before the show. The one on Sharon, when he mentioned Sharon. Hello?
No more.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Sorry, we did. We did. Sorry. He's also tried to contact Alex. Hello, I'm here.
Hello,
this fucking does my bastard boxing. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're a bit jittery. You froze a couple of times, mate.
Yeah.
Froze now.
I wonder if
you're
you
back.
can Can you hear me?
I can. You froze.
Am I still jittery?
You're not moving at all, mate. They can all hear us.
Excellent. That means we're back on a bit.
I don't think we've gone off. It's just it's just your camera. No, I don't even know if he's still there or not. Hello. Well, you're still listening to Raconteurs News. Jason's froze somewhere in time. Just having a bit of a scan back over the chat room. Lion's Share, you're asking about the council tax case. That's ongoing. So I won't be talking about that. But we've had preliminary judgment. We'll see how it goes.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, and you're moving.
Hey. I'm like the phone.
They could all still hear us.
Hey.
Hello?
Could they? All right, okay. Well, all right. Well, we'll carry on then, shall we, Webby? So, cheers, Webby. Yeah, I think we're fucking losing people. We've got a fucking lost thing, haven't we? I'm going to have to plug in somewhere.
There's something you're in, mate.
Fucking,
can you hear me okay? Because you froze again.
I can hear you, mate. I can hear you.
They both went off then.
Well, I think this is probably a good place to finish anyway. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get any better. Just to answer Stephen Moore's... I'm just answering Stephen Moore's statement. He's saying use the bills of exchange on the council tax. It's a different approach. Different approach.
Okay. Well, I think it's a bad connection for me. I'm going to have to plug it in for next time because it's just fucking getting worse and worse. Fuck me. It's only about fucking... Router's only about 3 foot fucking below me. And
need it plugged in there.
Fucking, I can't get the... I know, but it's below me through fucking floor. Oh, anyway. Right, I'm going to go. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for joining us this Tuesday night. I'll might be back with an After Dark later on in the week, but we will see. But you can be sure that Raconteurs News is back, and we will be back for the long term. Take it easy. Have a good whatever it is tomorrow. Cheers, Webby.